Hello class, for today we are going to talk about the molar mass of a compound. So for our objectives, at the end of this video lesson, we will be able to recognize the importance of determining the molar mass of a compound. And of course, we're going to compute the molar mass. So for our first one, the activity is the scrabbled letters. So we are going to identify the hidden word. So we have here two words and we have a clue. It is the number of proton of a chemical element. So, did you get the correct answer? Okay, so let's see if your answer is the same as the one that is being posted in the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so the correct answer is atomic number. Next, it is approximately equivalent to the number of protons and neutrons in the atom. So, again, this has two words. So, what do you think is the hidden word? Okay, so let's check your answer. You got the correct answer. It is atomic mass. So, for our discussion for today, we are going to define two important terms that will be part in the calculation of the molar mass. And this is the atomic number. Now, if you are going to remember what the atomic number is in the scrabbled letter, it is the number of proton in a chemical element, and also it is a unique identity of an element. Then we also have here the next one, and it is the atomic mass. The atomic mass of an atom is a chemical element that is usually expressed in atomic mass units. And also, it is approximately equivalent to the number of protons and neutrons in the atom. So, what is the definition of molar mass? So, this is where our discussion will be. Molar mass is now the mass that is given to a chemical element or a chemical compound. This is usually in grams that is divided by the amount of a substance. Usually, it is in mole. Now, what do you think is the importance of getting the molar mass? First, this gives us an idea of what is the weight of a specific substance or a compound. And also, getting the molar mass will help us in determining other conversion factors. So, for our self-check number one, okay, what are you going to do during our video lesson? First thing is that the instructions. You write your answers on a piece of paper and answer the following question. So the first one is that, what are the other important uses of the molar mass? Okay, so you enumerate at least 5. So if you know more than 5, then that would be better. Now, how do you express the units in molar mass? And the third question is, what is the difference between the molar mass from that of the formula mass? Again, for the third question, what is the difference between the molar mass from that of the formula mass? Now, let's proceed with the discussion of the calculation, okay, of the molar mass. Okay, so we are to calculate the molar mass. Now, you are going to have the materials, and this is the notebook, okay, where we write our lectures, where we write our computations, calculator, periodic table, of course, or pen or pencil. Now, these are the following steps in calculating the molar mass of a compound. You have to remember, since this is a procedure, it is very important that we are guided by a series of steps. So the first one is to get the unknown, followed by getting the chemical formula of the given. So this is a challenge because if you do not know what the chemical formula of a compound is, then there will be a problem. Then afterwards, the third step is to get the atomic mass of each element that occurs in each formula. Again, the atomic mass, this is to be determined because we are going to get, again, the mass. So in order to get the molar mass, we need the atomic mass. Then, for the fourth step, we are going to multiply the atomic mass with that of the subscript of the element in the chemical formula. And lastly, we are going to get the sum of all of the atomic masses of each of the constituent element. So, are you ready to compute? Let's get it on. So for the problem number 1, we are going to calculate the molar mass of carbon dioxide. So again, for our first step, we are going to get the unknown, and this is the molar mass. Of course, the unknown is to get the molar mass of carbon dioxide. Now, we will proceed with the second step, and this is the chemical formula of carbon dioxide. So we have here CO2, or carbon, and 2 molecules of oxygen. Then for the third step, we are going to get the atomic mass of each element that occurs in the chemical formula. For carbon, we have the atomic mass of 12.01 grams, and for oxygen, we have 16 grams. Then for the step 4, we are going to multiply the atomic mass with the subscript of the element in the chemical formula. So for carbon, we only have 1. So therefore, the atomic mass is to be multiplied by 1. So we have 12.01 gram. And for oxygen, we have 2 molecules. Therefore, it has 2 subscript. And therefore, we multiply it with 2. So 16 multiplied with 2 will give us 32 grams. After we will able to multiply, we will then add all of the atomic masses of each of the constituent element. Thereby, we are going to get 44.01 grams. So, my dear students, the molar mass of carbon dioxide will be 44.01 gram per mole. Then we have the second problem. What if it is a glucose? So the first thing that we're going to do again, very good. Step number 1 is to get the molar mass. Next, we are going to determine whether our chemical formula is correct. So this one is glucose, so it is C6H12NO6. Then afterwards, get the atomic mass of each element. So in this case, we have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So the one that is new here from our previous discussion, which is carbon dioxide, is the hydrogen. Of course, we will never forget because hydrogen has a atomic mass of 1.00 grams. Next, for our step number 4, we are going to multiply the atomic mass with that of their corresponding subscript or the number of molecules of each of these elements. So for carbon, we are going to multiply it with 6. For hydrogen, multiply it with 12. For oxygen, you multiply it with 6 again. Afterwards, very good. We are now going to add them. Get the sum of all of the atomic masses, and my dear students, our answer will be 180.06 gram per mole. Very good. Next, we have our self-check number 2, wherein you will now calculate the molar mass. Again, based on what we have discussed, there are a series of steps. So we have a total of 5 steps. So in this case, you may pause our discussion and then afterwards, we will proceed, okay, with the computation of the self-check number 2. Okay, so you may give time, okay, you may write your answer in the notebook, and then afterwards you may continue playing this video presentation for you to be able to determine whether you got the correct answer, or if not, whichever that you think was the part that was incorrect or that you missed, then you will be able to again play, okay, the discussion. Okay. So here are the answers to the self-check number 2. Again, the first one is magnesium sulfate. So in here, for magnesium sulfate, we get the unknown, so the molar mass of magnesium sulfate, followed by the given, which is your magnesium sulfate. Correct chemical formula. Again, that is very important. So we have here the atomic masses of the magnesium, sulfur, and oxygen. And then the next step will be step number 4. You are going to multiply with their corresponding subscript. Okay? And then afterwards, you are going to add with their atomic masses. Okay? Then finally, our answer is, did you get it correct, class? Very good. So we have 120.38 gram per mole. What about for the next question, di ba? So we see here your table sugar. So it has C12H22O11. So the first step is to get the unknown. Of course, it is asking for the molar mass. Then we get the given. Of course, we have to check the chemical formula if it is correct for table sugar. Atomic masses for carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Then we have the step number 4, multiply with their corresponding subscript. Now it is very important that we have the same periodic table, the one that I have shown and given you in the previous discussion, okay? Para pare-pareho tayo ng sagot, Nenak, because we will be able to derive the correct answer if you and I have the same periodic table and the same number of significant figures, okay? So in this case, we have the atomic masses. And then afterwards, when you are finished multiplying the atomic mass with that of their subscript, we are now going to add them. And finally, the answer. Yeah, did you get it right? Na? So it is 342.1 grams. Okay, so in here, the molar mass is now therefore 342.1 gram per mole. Ayan. Yeah? So that is the unit for our molar mass. Now, for our self-check number 3. Yan, okay? So, this will be done simultaneously, and we are going to discuss the answers tomorrow when we meet in the class, okay? So, I will give you a series of questions, and then if you are having difficulty answering it, you may ask me tomorrow, because tomorrow we are going to discuss it in our face-to-face classes. Okay, so first you are going to determine the molar mass of the given compounds. Write your answers in your notebook. So tomorrow I will be checking them. Okay, the following will be the rubrics as the basis for your scores. The first one is your solution in a step-by-step process, because I know, diba, you are very intelligent, but because of we follow series of steps, Nenak. So, alam ko kaya natin mag-shortcut. But in this case, in order for you to have a perfect 5 points, you follow the steps. Okay? So, is it in a step-by-step process? So, the high score will be 5 points. Is your answer in showing a complete solution? Diba? Baka sagot lang yan. Baka nakopya lang natin yan sa classmate natin. So, napaka-importante po na ikaw mismo, dahil bukas magtatanong ako. Okay, bukas I will be asking, okay, each and every one of you, how were you able to derive to that particular step? Okay, or to that particular answer? Okay? And then, of course, the correct answer will be 5 points. Neatness, syempre, di ba? Papunta na tayo ng college, so napaka-importante po na maging malinis, neat, okay, yung ating po mga sagot, yung ating mga ginagamit po na solutions, niya, pag pine-present natin sa teacher. And of course, your punctuality, because tomorrow we are going to start at exactly 7 o'clock in the morning. Therefore, my dear students, nagpa-practice na rin tayo ng face-to-face, di ba? Kaya kailangan po bukas, alas 7 in punto, mag-check po ako ng attendance. Ganun din po yung mga assignment po ninyo. So, please be ready. Okay? Now, we are going to calculate the molar mass of the following compounds. So, ayan. Yeah? So, as you can see, this one, okay, so for the first one, we have the ammonium nitrite, copper sulfate, potassium hydroxide, sodium carbonate, and carbon tetrachloride. Okay? So, you are going to submit to me the answers. Now, we are going to talk about these answers tomorrow in our face-to-face classes. Now, in summary, molar mass is very important. Most especially, we are going to the other important steps na important calculations in chemistry. And the first thing that is very important, okay, as a chemistry student, is for you to be able to know the importance of molar mass. Okay, napaka-importante po niyan, lalong-lalo na pag nagko-convert na po tayo ng iba't ibang mga units. Yeah? And then also, this is very important in determining the specific weight of a substance. So, here are again the following steps. Of course, the first thing that we're going to do is to determine the unknown, because there are certain formulas, there are certain unknown or certain chemical calculations that you need to compute. So, the first thing that you are going to do, which among them, okay, is being needed in the problem. And then the second one is to never forget the chemical formula of your substances, of your element, because that is important in chemistry. The third step will be getting the atomic masses of each of the elements. Fourth step will be multiplying the atomic mass with that of the subscript of the element. And last but definitely not the least is to get the sum of all of the atomic masses of each of the constituent element. So if you have any question or clarification, so tomorrow, dun po tayo magmi-meet at dun po tayo mag-uusap regarding our topic for today, which is molar mass. Thank you, my dear students, for listening, and God bless you.